When the Buffalo Sabres won the NHL draft lottery, general manager Jason Botterill had a smile that would light up a hockey rink because he was getting the right to draft Swedish Venom defenseman Rasmus Dahlin first overall in June. Dahlin is what every NHL team is looking for, a true number one defenseman. At least that's what the scouts think. It's certainly what Edmonton Oilers GM Peter Chiarelli needs to complement Connor McDavid, but the Oilers haven't had one of those since Hall of Famer Chris Pronger left in 2006. But HES not getting that, so will try for a right-shot defenseman who puts up 50 to 60 points and can play the point on the power play as a fallback. In other words, a number 2D, which is what Justin Schultz might be today if he hadn't been shell-shocked in Edmonton and traded to Pittsburgh, where HES won 2 Stanley Cups. You almost always have to draft your true number one defenseman. Like Los Angeles with Drew Doughty, the number 2 overall pick in 2008, or Tampa's Victor Hedman, who went number 3 in 2009, or Ottawa's Erik Karlsson, the number 15 pick in 2008. Teams usually don't trade true no ones with the exception of Shea Weber for PK Subban in 2016. So what is the definition of a true number one? Drew Doughty, number 8 of the Los Angeles Kings, battles Antoine Roussel of the Dallas Stars for position during the third period of a game at Staples Center on April 7, 2018 in Los Angeles, California. Sean M. Haffey, Getty Images. You have to be able to play against and negate the other team's top players, play at least 50% on the power play, on one of the two units, and have to be a primetime penalty killer, said recently retired NHL coach Ken Hitchcock. In any situation that's called for, you're playing, said Calgary Flames GM Brad Treliving. You're matching up against top players and you're able to drive offense, not necessarily with points, but moving pucks and playing the penalty kill. You're able to absorb big minutes. That eliminates a lot of guys. When you talk of true no-ones, you're talking a small group of elite players, said Hitchcock. There's lots of good true number twos in the league, but they are primarily shutdown guys. How many true no-ones are there in the 31-team league? You've gone through that exercise a few times and it's interesting when you go through all the teams, said Treliving. I don't know how many there are, I just know they're hard to come by. Dennis Potvin knows a true number 1D more than most because he won 3 Norris trophies and was the prototypical definition of the term. A true number 1 defenseman gobbles up ice time, generates offense and is a presence defensively. Guys like Bobby Orr, Doug Harvey, Ray Burke, Nick Lidstrom, they were like statues. What I mean is they had a presence all the time, said Potvin, who should have put himself on that list. I played 15 years and I don't ever recall being on against Dave Semenko. I had to be on against Wayne Gretzky and Mark Messier. But what Potvin loves most in a true number one is the ability to make a difference. Of all the defensemen I watched today, I like Karlsson, the way he can dominate a game. He can put a team on his back, he puts up important points, said Potvin. Hedman and Doughty are tremendous, but I don't know if they can change a game with a goal or an assist. Erik Karlsson, number 65 of the Ottawa Senators, tries to control the puck in front of Dylan Larkin of the Detroit Red Wings during the third period at Little Caesars Arena on March 31, 2018 in Detroit, Michigan. Gregory Shamus, Getty Images. There may only be 10 true no-ones in the league. There's Doughty, Hedman, Karlsson, Oliver Ekman-Larsson in Arizona, Ryan Suter in Minnesota, Roman Josi and Subban in Nashville, Alex Pietrangelo in St. Louis and the fast-rising Seth Jones in Columbus. There's true no-ones to some but not others because they don't check all the boxes. PP and PK, for instance, like Brent Burns in San Jose, Dustin Byfuglian in Winnipeg, John Klingberg in Dallas, John Carlson in Washington, Chris Letang in Pittsburgh. Or others like Mark Giordano do both but don't get universal love. Most often, they're drafted in the top 10, but not always. All 31 NHL teams theoretically have one of those no-ones, your best guy. Like Rasmus Ristolainen, the Sabres' top defenseman on a perennially bad team. Or Oscar Klefbom here in Edmonton last with his big minutes, nice shot and strong skating, even though Klefbom is probably graded out as a no. 2. Klingberg in Dallas puts up points and has the head for the game, but HES slight and tends to get worn down playing against top guys. Burns, who won the Norris Trophy last year, isn't a great defender and doesn't play against top people. That's Marc-Edouard Vlasic's role in San Jose. But Treliving sees him as a no. 1. HE's going to play almost all the 2 minutes on power play and HES logging big even strength time. HE's not given an opportunity on penalty kill because they have other people. Vlasic Any way you look at it, HE's one hell of a player, very unique for his size and ability to shoot, the dynamic element, said Tree Living. The jury's out on Weber because injuries are starting to hinder him and his mobility isn't as strong as it used to be. Former Norris Trophy winner Duncan Keith, soon to be 35, was a clear number one in Chicago, but there's lots of tread on his tires. Zdeno Chara was always a number one in Boston but not at 41. Washington's Carlson, the top free agent defenseman on the market July, led all Blue Liners with 68 points, 32 on the power play and played almost 25 minutes a night. But he doesn't get matched against the other team's big guns. Matt Niskanen takes that one as a right shot. D. Carlson's coming on but HE's even on his plus-minus for this, said Potvin. People say that's not a true statistic. I say, screw you. I mean Hedman was plus 32 in Tampa, that means something. Is Giordano in Calgary, who is on against McDavid, plays the power play there and kills penalties, a legit number one, or is it a real debate because he only had 38 points? For sure he is. He plays big minutes and against the other team's top best players, and he can handle it, said Tree Living. Byfuglian in Winnipeg is a beast with and without the puck and looks like a true number one in these playoffs. Jones has won over lots of people this. Seth Jones, number 3 of the Columbus Blue Jackets, attempts to skate the puck away from Kyle Turris of the Ottawa Senators during the first period on January 19, 2017 at Nationwide Arena in Columbus, Ohio. Kirk Irwin, Getty Images. You can sense it watching Seth, where HE's thinking okay, the team's not playing well or him not playing well, and you can see him trying to change things, said Potvin. HE's got the mentality of a true no. 1. I voted him as one of my top 3D for the Norris with Doughty and Hedman. HE's a big-time player. He plays in all significant areas, said TSN commentator and former GM Craig Button, who doesn't see Giordano or Carlson as true no ones, but close. There's young guys Ivan Provorov in Philly and Aaron Ekblad in Florida pushing towards true number one status. They drive both special teams and play against the best players, said Tree Living. So back to Dahlin. At worst, Dahlin is a top-pairing defenseman and likely a number one. He can play lots of minutes in lots of situations and make lots of play, said Chiarelli. When I look at an 18-year-old defenseman, I want to see an exceptional passer and I want to see how he is when things are going wrong for his team, said Potvin. Does he want to take charge? Does he get mad, get physical?